Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, happy Tuesday to all. Hopefully, your day is going brilliantly. Or if you're watching this at any other point in the week, hopefully, having a great day nonetheless. We continue, focus, there we go. We continue with the weekly drop from today. The title track, titled Lights On, was absolutely brilliant. And now we have the other four B-sides to get to because we have the album listen for Weekly's sixth mini album titled Bliss, the Bliss EP. What am I looking forward to? I mean, weekly music in general, I'm always going to be looking forward to, especially considering we didn't have to wait too long to get brand new weekly music, unlike last time around with Colorize. But I have high hopes, especially because of how good that title track was. But also, Weekly brought home Album of the Year last year for me. For girl groups, their Colorize EP last year took Album of the Year. It was so good. Genuinely unbelievable album from start to finish. And my kind of one wish that I have throughout the next four new B-sides we're going to check out is I hope we get a song that brings the vibe and brings the energy of two B-sides off of that album. Ruby Dooby Doo and Backwards. I want something that is just dark and mature, but also has that really punchy hit like Backwards. I mean, to be fair, Ruby Dooby Doo, we kind of got that cutesy brightness with Lights On, so I guess we're kind of 1 for 2 already on that checklist, but I want something that, we had a really bright, high-energy title track. I want something that takes that same energy and spins it in a darker direction. And, with Backwards last year, we've seen that Weekly can do that. I want that again. But there's only one way to find out if we got it, so let's check the album out on time. Here we go. Rightio, let's get her started properly, shall we? Album listen, how we do them. I don't know if we did this for Colorize, considering what time of year we did it on. I'm pretty sure I recorded that in the basement office while my dad was out on a business trip or something like that. But we do an album listens. We go through the album in order. I'll read off the song credits before every single song, so we can give producers due props, and then just go through the album in order. So, track number 1. Technically not title track. Track number 1, titled Twenties. Lyrics by Beck Same of PNP. Composition, 82 I believe it's read as Bloom and Noah from Papermaker, and Stella Jones with 82 and Noah from Papermaker on arrangement. Here we go. It's double time. It's faster than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to pull up something else. It's quick. It's really quick. Hold on a second. And again, we're getting the high vocals and the lead-in. We're getting the harmonies. Really cool that, we are now 2 for 2 in terms of songs where the beat doesn't get interrupted between the transition phases. We're just gonna go straight into the next phrase. No rest for the wicked. We're just gonna go, go, go. Oh my goodness. That development in the pre-chorus is gorgeous. I'm also a big sucker for a good synth part. This song has a terrific synthesizer part. We did get a break finally. I mean, you still get the faint hi-hats going, but... Late rap verse, okay. Yeah, so apart from the instrumental kind of dropping out in the bridge, no interruptions in the beat. And a nice firm finish at the end. It's a good vibe, it's a good time. What I was pulling up on the side was, I was getting the credits from the Colorize album up, because I wanted to see if we had any crossovers between albums. It doesn't look like there's many. There's a couple later down the road. In terms of lyricists, we have a couple of overlaps as well, which is very cool. I had a thought going there, but I've forgotten what it was. Must have been important then if I've forgotten. But you know what? That's a good start to an album. It's, once again, we've got that pace going. It's really snappy. And it's a different kind of pace than Lights On in terms of like the sensation you get when you're experiencing the speed. And it does control the speed a little bit more than in Lights On, because Lights On really was just kind of thrown into gear and we're gonna go uninterrupted, like actually uninterrupted. While 20s, there were moments where you kind of let off the gas a little bit. But I think as a way to kind of establish what the vibe of the album is going to be, 20s does a really good job of it, because it's plenty bright. It's not overwhelmingly bright, and I think that's the important thing here, is by having 20s be a little bit more of a subtly bright song, it allows for Lights On, the title track, to have that big crowning moment of being the bright, energetic song on the album, right? Say, if Lights On was track number 1 on the album, and if followed up by 20s, I think it still would have been the right order. It's because you're starting off the album with the big kahuna, essentially, and then you're kind of, starting your way down. But sometimes, if you start off the album with the big one, and you overwhelm the audience, then the rest of the album becomes a little bit diluted, or a little bit, what's the right word for it? Like muddled down, because the first experience was such a big moment. So to kind of ease your way into a high energy album with a plenty high energy album or high energy song like 20s, I think is smart. And the fact that you still get the connections between the two songs too, in terms of like composition styles, arrangements, stuff like that, and I think that's very neat. Nice. Oh, hold on a second. All right, so next on the album is Lights On, track number 2, title track. We're not going to listen to it here, but let me go through the credits real quickly. Track number 2, Lights On, lyrics by Jo Yoon Kyung, composition Jake K, MCK, and Maria Marcus of Artifact, with Jake K and MCK on arrangement. Okay, so there's some familiar names in there as well, which takes us to track number 3, Dance, 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 exclamation point after the last one. Lyrics by Choi Sung-hyuk of 9, Kim Min-gu of 9. Composition Kim Min-gu, Jo Young-min, Choi Sung-hyuk and of 9, and Ushkump. What an interesting name. Arrangement Jo Young-min, Ushkump, and Kim Min-gu of 9. 9 is a music team that Ibu from formerly of Luna, now debuted soloist, has been was shadowing under at one point. Very cool. I'm also familiar with some of their names and some of their work, so this should be fun. Big impact moment to start.
Hey, it's all about you.
This has the potential to be a very bright song, just off rip. with a little wedding march motif in there? Okay. Okay, never mind. EDM party banger. Wait, that's kind of brilliant. I love that motif. It works so well. Harmonies.
It's about time that we should have some fun. In the sky, light up the dark. 나란히 빛나는 그 상상들. Open the door.
That's so cool, and I love that when we get this motif, we've got bells in the background now. And then that drop. EDM. Oh.
Wanna be falling, yeah. I wanna be falling into you, baby.
And this song definitely takes a more drastic curve difference in terms of how much energy you get in where in the song, doesn't it? Low reset in the bridge, low reset in the pre-choruses, big hit in the chorus, right? Love that gang vocal entry for the final chorus.
Let's make these dreams come true.
That's a terrific song. Oh my goodness, it's so much fun, but it takes you on a journey, and it feels like it's a song made for a special occasion. It's got a ceremonial vibe to it, but it's got happy ceremony vibes, and that's definitely in part to the kind of variation of the wedding march with the bell synthesizer in the background that really just kind of packages it all up nice in a really pretty package. But wow. Wow. That is very, very good. And I'm realizing this is a very bright album. Like, it's meant for the summer, and it kind of makes sense. But, this is 3 very bright songs in a row. And I'm not going to complain about it one bit because they've all been terrific. There is something that is... I think the bells are such a cool instrument to incorporate into a pop song. Like, this is such a niche kind of choice, but one of my favorite musical memories growing up was every Christmas going to see the handbell choirs with my parents. It was like one of the only tolerable Christmas music compositions that I could listen to, just because if you grew up in America, you will like, this will resonate with you, but every Christmas you turn on the pop station and at least one of them will have changed over to the Christmas station from like Thanksgiving to Christmas Day. And they play like the same 10 Christmas songs, it feels like. And it gets really boring after a couple of years. So you want to get a different taste of Christmas music, right? You want to be festive, but you don't want to drown in the same over and over. That's why I love Trans-Siberian Orchestra so much, and it's why I love the handbell choir so much, because they're so unique. And I think the sound of the bells is terrific. There is just something so grandiose and so magnificent about a bell. And even though this Dance 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 probably doesn't use actual bells, it probably uses a synthesizer with a bell sound sample on it, the effect is still there. Combine it with an iconic and immediately identifiable melody that's reminiscent of that happy ceremony where bells oftentimes are used, the wedding, a Western wedding. It's a match made in heaven. Throw a dash of EDM in there and then just flavor it a la the Weeekly pop sound that, they have done time and time again, and the final product is amazing. And it right now is my B-side of the album. Possibly my track of the album. Might be a hot take because Lights On was really good, but that's really good too. Right, let's keep removing. Track number 4, titled Classic. Lyrics by Yi Ju Hyun. Composition, Rhinus Jun, Luis Udin, Chris Wall, Andrea Roca as Rhinus Jun and Chris Wall on arrangements. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Okay, so it's just Ryan S. Jun is the same. Everyone else is different. I have the colorized credits pulled up, and I was looking at who worked on what song. I see Ryan S. Jun was on Backwards, which has me excited. Also, Ryan S. Jun knows his way around a song or two, so.
Come and get diamonds. 원한다면 가져와. 나를 알아본 순간 뒤바뀌는 paradise. 머릿속 siren. 아슬한 것 in your eyes. 네 맘 꿰뚫어서 난 You will never let me go, baby 나. 세상 단 하나의 icon. 널 흔들 대서.
I mean, I see why the song is thought of classic. Big string influence. Significantly poppy sounding though. Hello, different tempo. What just happened? Really interesting key we're in too. Wow! They go completely different tempo timing for the chorus. I want to find hold on. I want to pull up a tempo finder. I want to know how different the tempos actually are. That new tempo with this new key is such a... I mean, of course it's a drastic change. They completely changed the speed and the key of the song, but... a huge decelerando. I'm gonna stay here, okay. Let the song reset a little bit. Okay, so we're in 150 for this new part. I'm gonna go back into the beginning of the song and see what that pace is, but... Wow. What's interesting about classic is I'm listening through this song as if it's being written on musical ledger. So I'm thinking of like what notations they would use in it. On a pop song like this, to have a different tempo like that in a specific part of a song isn't new. It's rare. Like, we've had, mid-song genre switches where the tempo switches. Like, that was very much a 2021, 2022 type of composition style. But that was, the tempo change came with a sound change as well. So it kind of fits together. When you switch the genre, naturally the tempo is bound to change. But it's the way they change tempos here, especially the way they change back into the original tempo that I think is really clever, because they don't just go with this new 150 BPM pace for the chorus and then just finish it and then boom, hard cut into the original. No, you can physically feel the song slow down as that chorus finishes. Let's go back actually to like the first chorus-ish. Hold on. Now this is probably somewhere in the first verse. This is exactly where I need to be to do the counting bit, but... Okay, so 130 here.
I'm a classic.
Weirdly, wait, hold on. That pre-chorus, does it remind anyone else of Vroom Vroom a little bit from last era?
What's me step into? I'm a classic.
Yeah, but once we get into this chorus, you know, they start singing gang vocal style. I'm a classic. Dun, dun. Really, I'm a classic. The I'm a in that beginning of the chorus is what's masking that the tempo change, because the instruments aren't doing anything. It's the vocals bringing in that chorus, and with them they're bringing a brand new tempo. Original tempo before the chorus is 130. Tempo once we get into the chorus is 150. 20 beats per minute is a significant difference that is immediately recognizable. And so to have such a drastic switch, you have to be really smart about how you transition into that next phrase. And honestly, probably the best way to do it is to just cut out anything that is meant to maintain a consistent rhythm, right? And that usually means the lower end of the instrumentation, whether it's the drums or the bass. In really any pop song, drums and bass parts are usually not relegated, but they're assigned the consistent beat portion of the song. They're essentially the metronome of the song, what's keeping the tempo of the entire song together. Without them, and without anything filling the middle, the vocal generally has a lot of freedom to do whatever it wants. Now that there's nothing holding it back, it has the freedom to do everything it wants. In this case, a tempo change.
저들은 magic 절대 버릴 수 없는 fantasy Mona Lisa 비밀스런 눈빛 바라볼수록 precious you can see oh
I guess we'll kind of have to keep going, but
classic 세상은 나쁜
wait for it.
상상 그 이상 나란 masterpiece 내 목소리
And that's how we bring it back into that original tempo again, is you physically slow it down gradually. It's not that hard cut. In classical music, if it was written on paper, we call it decelerando. D-E-C-D-E-L? Just slow it down. Really slow it down. And then, once it feels like you've almost gone past it, then we bring back that original 130 BPM section again. It's like, all right, cool. I like that. It's clever. It's clever, this one. Apologies for getting very involved with the classical side of things, but I thought that was very interesting to listen to. But that unfortunately takes us to the last of the songs on the album, titled Page, parentheses, A Story That Reached Me. Lyrics by Miss Park So-eun, alongside Lee Seung-ga. Composition, Lee Wee-gon, Mondo, and Lee Seung-ga, with Lee Wee-gon, Mondo, and Lee Seung-ga on arrangement. Now, ballad or not a ballad? Let's find out. It's soft, but it's rather quick.
흔들린 꽃잎에 내 맘 가득 담아 내게 보내 익숙한 음악에도 눈물이 흘러 너를 생각해 또 눈을 마주칠 때면 환하게
Pretty prominent digital bass now.
네가 선명하게 다가와 내 안의 온도가 돼 기억의 저편에서 네 향기를 느껴 Still live in your time 내게만 들려주는 긴 이야기야 꿈결처럼 찬란했던 이 순간이
It's more anthemy than a ballad, but it does the exact same effect.
우리가 그려온 페이지 날 가득 담아보는 with you 같은 하늘 아래 우리 잠을 숨 놓지 않기를 기억해줄래 나의 완성은 너야 쉽지 않았던 날
Oh, I was wondering what they were gonna do there. That felt like a really long hold, but I like where they went with that.
너를 떠올릴 때면 길 위로 감내며 따스히 다가온 네가 선명하게
But it's very pretty, it's very smooth, and after quite an intense album, I think it's a very welcome way to finish the album. It's a very nice reset. Bring the album back down, you know? It's a song though that definitely has a sparkle to it that's very pretty. I'm loving this progression. Started from the bottom. Now we get the big release at the end. The melody just flips up there. It's so pretty. That's a mega album. Off rip, that is a mega album. Oh my goodness. But Paige, it does exactly what this song needs to do for where it's placed on the album, for what this album is. It's perfect. There's a reason, and I say this time and time again, but there's a reason why oftentimes most pop albums, end with a ballad, is because you think of the entire album as an energy curve, right? Oh, it starts off at the top and it slowly works its way down. Having a nice, softer song at the very end is a very gradual way of setting the album down back to earth. Not everyone does this. Some people end on the big banger, kind of there's a couple of ways of approaching how an album is structured. One is that gentle finish at the end, exactly what Bliss does. And with Paige, it's that really nice reset where it's still got, compared to like your really sappy emotional ballads, this has a lot of punch to it. So this is probably more classified as like an anthem of sorts. But in context with the rest of the album, it's that nice, soft, mellow song. It's that really gradual way of setting it back down. The other way of putting an album together is the big party finish. Think when you go to if you've ever been to or seen a set at a concert, you typically end a concert with a very high energy, big encore song. That's like side A and side B of how you put an album together. Weekly's Bliss takes side A with the gradual finish. And yet it's not the softest song in the world, not by any means. It's actually got quite a bit of presence and power behind it. But considering the rest of the album has that amount of power and brightness and energy to it, it's very natural. In fact, I prefer having a song like Paige to finish off this Bliss album rather than that sappy emotional ballad. Because by having a sappy emotional ballad at the end, while I would have welcomed it as a big ballad fan myself, I don't think it would have been appropriate for this album. So this is very smart. But it's also, for me, Paige is kind of the best way of showcasing that kind of more softer, mellower side of Weeekly, because you get the full scale in terms of the vocal range, both in actual like octave range, but also in like the textural side of things. You get the soft vocals, but you also get the clear, piercing high tones as well. And it's just everything is really put on display for you in a way that feels perfect for the context and perfect for the occasion. And I can't complain about it one bit. Oof. Weekly, have they really just done this again? Wow, honestly, this has been terrific. And I know we didn't check out Stranger on camera, but I don't have any like negative negative memories of Stranger either. So they've really been on a streak of just almost 2 calendar years of perfect music for me, and that's crazy to think about. Oh, where's my album of the year list? I'm once again keeping a spreadsheet of all of the stuff that we've listened to this year and where it'll rank. Oh, wow, hold on. I just noticed this girl group album of the year is going to be a very hotly contested running this year because there have been some really good albums that I've really liked. And Weekly have not made that any easier for me by dropping yet another possible album of the year contender because it's a shorter album, unfortunately. Like it's only 5 songs long, but considering one, we didn't have to wait 18 months for the latest drop. Two, it's an album where the concept and the sound of it just is perfect for me and my musical interests. But three, it's the quality and the consistent quality that we've gotten that's just terrific. It's always been the case for me that whenever there's a weekly release, I'm probably going to like it. But even with that super long hiatus and a member lineup change, we're still getting good weekly music. So I have absolutely no complaints whatsoever. Track of the album for me probably is Dance Dance Dance. Having said that, Lights on the title track is a very close second, not by a long shot, but it's about that much, you know. I reckon, you know, on certain days and certain moods, I'll probably prefer Lights on over Dance Dance Dance, but after first listen through the entire album, Dance 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 takes my album, or not album, your song of the album. So that is going to be it for me today. Thank you all for listening along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. One last request from me today. Let's work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be checking with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness to may brighten up someone else's day to day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know there will always be a friend, ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.